Hey everyone! Welcome to Update X24H, your go-to channel for the latest news, hottest dramas, breaking stories, and all the buzz from the world of entertainment. We're here to keep you updated, entertained, and always in the loop. Hit that subscribe button and join our growing family. Because here at Update X24H, we bring you the news that matters, the drama you love, and the stories you can't miss. Thanks for being part of our community. Let's stay connected, stay updated, and keep the good vibes rolling. What if a joke wasn't just a joke? What if a single careless sentence could wound millions and force two of China's brightest stars to reveal the most vulnerable truths of their lives? Today, we dive into the story that shook the entire entertainment world, when Liu Yuning and Zhao Lusi stood up against comedy gone too far and turned a scandal into a movement for compassion. It began on a stage where laughter was supposed to be harmless, a place millions turn to when they need a moment of lightness in their day. The variety show had built its reputation on sharp humor, playful celebrity roasts, and the ability to make audiences forget their worries, even if only for an hour. But this time, one careless sentence changed everything. In the middle of his routine, a well-known comedian looked out at the crowd and made a remark that instantly shifted the air in the room. He suggested that young actors often hide behind the excuse of depression when they cannot deliver a good performance. He mocked forgotten lines, failed tears, and moments of stage fright, turning them into a punchline. The audience, conditioned to laugh at whatever came next, responded with chuckles, but even among the crew there were whispers that the tone had gone too far. A camera operator later admitted that the atmosphere grew heavy, that a line had been crossed, though no one yet knew just how far the consequences would reach. To dismiss depression as a convenient excuse was not just a poor choice of words. It revealed something much darker, a cultural habit of minimizing invisible pain, of treating mental illness as weakness, rather than struggle. For ordinary viewers, it was uncomfortable. For artists, it was devastating. In an industry where public image must always shine, many performers already live with the burden of silence, carrying panic attacks into rehearsals or hiding therapy appointments behind fake smiles. That single joke echoed through their experiences like an accusation, suggesting their suffering was nothing more than laziness dressed up in medical terms. In that instant, comedy lost its innocence. What was intended as a throwaway gag exposed a deep fault line in the relationship between entertainment and empathy. It forced both industry insiders and ordinary fans to question whether humor has limits, and whether mocking mental health can ever be brushed aside as just a joke. The words were spoken casually, but their weight was immense. No one in that studio, not even the comedian himself, could have predicted that a single laugh line would ignite one of the fiercest debates in modern Chinese entertainment, and draw two of its brightest stars into a storm that would soon redefine their public lives forever. Liu Yuning had never been the type to leap into public controversies. His career had been built not on scandal or provocation, but on steady talent, humility, and an image of calm composure. Fans admired him because he seemed different from the chaos that often surrounded celebrity life. He rarely engaged in online disputes, and when others allowed their tempers to flare, he chose silence. That silence, however, was not indifference. Those who followed his journey closely knew that beneath the polished surface was a man who had lived through his own struggles, a man who understood the weight of anxiety, the pressure of sudden fame, and the gnawing feeling of not being enough. It was precisely this history that gave his eventual response to the comedian's remark such extraordinary impact. When he posted the words, "Some jokes aren't jokes, some pain isn't punchlines," they landed with the force of a hammer on glass. The statement was brief, almost cryptic, yet impossible to ignore. He named no one, tagged no accounts, offered no explanation, and yet the message was crystal clear. In an online world where celebrities often write long defensive essays, Liu Yuning chose restraint. The absence of detail gave his post even greater power, because it demanded interpretation. Was he speaking only for himself? Was he defending someone else? The ambiguity made fans lean closer, reading between the lines, and in doing so, they recognized the sincerity behind every word. The weight of his response came not from drama but from credibility. Here was a man who had been open about his struggles with imposter syndrome, who had admitted the crushing loneliness that haunted his rise from street performer to actor and singer. He was not speaking as an outsider to mental health, but as someone who knew its shadows personally. In defending the dignity of those battling depression, he was in some way defending himself as well. His voice carried authority because it was grounded in lived truth. For many young fans who quietly endured their own invisible battles, his words felt like a shield. In a culture where silence is often easier than vulnerability, Liu Yuning had chosen to draw a line. Pain is real, and turning it into entertainment is unacceptable. In that moment, he became more than a star. He became a witness, an advocate, and a reminder that empathy can speak louder than laughter. Zhao Lusi had always been seen as the bright star of her generation, a young actress whose energy and charm seemed limitless. To the public, she was laughter and light, a presence that could brighten any screen. Few could have imagined that behind her radiant image lay a long and silent battle. When the comedian's remarks about depression spread across the industry, Zhao Lusi's decision to break her silence was not calculated for publicity, nor was it a routine social media post. It was a cry of truth, raw and devastating, that altered the way millions of fans would ever see her again. Her message began with a question that pierced through the noise of the internet. What's so funny about wanting to die? The words were not wrapped in diplomacy or softened for comfort. They were a direct challenge to the cruelty of turning mental illness into entertainment. In those 9 words, she shattered the illusion of invulnerability that often surrounds celebrities. Suddenly, Zhao Lusi was no longer just an actress on the screen. She was a human being who had walked through the darkness of despair. She revealed that for 3 years she had lived with depression, carrying it quietly while smiling for cameras, performing roles, and pretending everything was fine. Alongside her words came images few had expected to see. Hospital corridors, therapy appointments, prescription bottles with her own name etched across the labels. Each photo told a story of nights spent fighting shadows, while the world assumed she was living a dream. The vulnerability was staggering. It was not simply an admission. It was an act of courage that defied the stigma attached to mental health in the entertainment world. For her fans, the revelation was transformative. Every unexplained absence from events, every sudden decision to decline a major role, every moment she appeared weary during interviews, now carried a different meaning. What had once been misinterpreted as difficult behavior or disinterest was revealed as the cost of survival. She had not been hiding from her career. She had been trying to save herself. In choosing to speak, Zhao Lusi gave permission to countless others who had been hiding their struggles. Her revelation was more than personal confession. It was a mirror held up to society, asking it to recognize the pain that so many choose to keep invisible. By opening her wounds to the world, she transformed her suffering into strength, turning silence into solidarity, and changing forever the way her story, and perhaps the story of mental health in her industry, would be told. The entertainment industry reacted instantly. Within hours, more than 50 Chinese actors, directors, and singers shared her post, calling for greater respect toward mental health. Soon, international celebrities joined in. For the first time, a single scandal shifted into something much bigger, a global discussion about the cost of fame and the importance of empathy. Viewers were not just shocked, they were moved. They saw their idols not as untouchable stars, but as humans, vulnerable and brave enough to speak out. Meanwhile, the comedian tried to defend himself. He claimed the comments were taken out of context, and that cancel culture was going too far. But the damage was done. Audiences no longer saw it as edgy humor. They saw it as cruelty disguised as comedy. This moment forced the industry and even fans to ask, where is the line between humor and harm? What makes the story unforgettable is not just the drama, but the courage it inspired. It gave a voice to young fans silently struggling with their own mental health. It reframed Zhao Lusi's career as not just a journey of success, but a story of survival. It showed Liu Yuning as more than an actor or singer, but as an advocate who understands that silence can be dangerous. And perhaps most importantly, it reminded the world that compassion is stronger than mockery. Scene 7. Fresh insight, new angle. But here's something few people are talking about. This moment could reshape entertainment culture itself. Imagine if variety shows began including mental health advisors behind the scenes. Imagine celebrities using their platforms not only for promotions, but for creating safe spaces where fans can discuss struggles openly. This controversy may have started with one cruel joke, but it could end with an industry where laughter and respect can coexist. Liu Yuning and Zhao Lusi did more than just respond to an insult. They turned pain into power, stigma into awareness, and silence into courage. So the next time someone laughs at another's suffering, remember their message. Some pain isn't a punchline. Thank you for watching Update X24H. If this story touched you, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more updates on the stories that matter. Your support helps us continue bringing you powerful, inspiring content from around the world. Stay strong, stay kind, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss our next video.